I'm going to welcome everybody and acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as Australia's First Nations peoples. Respect their continued cultural and spiritual connection to country, waters, kin and community. And a special mention now to our Giveaway, Wallavara, Indigi and Jabagai country that we are here on today. Perfect. We're going to move on to our VisionFlex members. So I know Abe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand over to you, Abe.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Did you want to give the background or would you like me to?
Entirely up to you. If you'd prefer, that's fine.
Look, just a very quick background on, okay, so VisionFlex members here, I'll let them introduce themselves. However, this is off the back of the NKindle reports that a lot of you guys have received now, and the telehealth cards are starting to roll out. I will leave it up to Kieran and Abe and the team here to give you a timeline on that, but they're here to give you an outline, a demonstration and everything about the VisionFlex products. I'll hand over now. Just to remind everybody what it was for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there are some familiar names. And so for those I haven't met, I'm Abe. I'm the I look after the customer success team at VisionFlex, and I've also got on my call the founder of VisionFlex, Mike Harmon. So he's our head of product and all-round expert, and also from the customer success team is VJ. So yeah, pleased to meet you all, and we're really excited to connect directly with you as we go through the rollout. Kieran, we work very closely with Kieran down there in the bottom right. He's actually spending a lot of time clocking up a lot of miles, going around and being the sort of arms and legs and getting things set up for you guys. So yeah, we've been really enjoying working with North Queensland PHN. We've got a really good structured approach to how you're rolling this out, which is one of the biggest indicators of success. So we've already had some great stories coming out of the early sites we've deployed to, and we're looking forward to more of those as we go on. I'll hand over to Mike unless you had something you wanted to add, Kieran.
No, just yeah, I'll be spending a little bit more time with hopefully most people here as we get a little bit closer to things start happening in this area from about sort of mid-June. I'll be aiming to make a little bit more contact leading up. I'm hoping to be on site from the start at least a bit, just to help unpack all the exciting new kit and kind of talk about the first steps everybody needs to take to just get engaged with it. And yeah, and connecting everybody with the really supportive VisionFlex team. So yeah, looking forward to working with everyone on that in person.
Fantastic. Yeah, over to you, Mike.
Okay, I'll just spotlight my container here so that everyone can see it a little bit more easily. There we go. Am I large? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, congratulations on the purchase of the VisionFlex carts. Your carts, the laptop cart I have here behind me, I believe there's 36 of these carts being deployed around Far North Queensland. I believe around about 16 of those have been deployed already, so there's still a bunch more to come up to you. I think the last one that's going out is going up to Thursday Island. And the rest of them are being deployed in groups of 5, I think. So you'll see those coming in the next few weeks. Now, these carts are fitted with the laptop here under the surface of the card. It's an Ergotron card, which I'm sure you all know. The keyboard of the laptop is hidden under the top surface here, which provides extra workspace for people using the card, which is really nice. And down below here, you might not be able to see it, but there's a wireless keyboard and mouse, which are in the card. And there's also a drawer down the bottom here, which allows you to store all of the peripherals securely. So it's really easy to use. We've got a mouse up here, obviously. Now, the system comes with 2 cameras. So there's a forward-facing camera for the operator here in the top of the laptop, which you can select during the call. But we also have a flexible camera up the top on this telescopic pole, which allows you to face that at toward the patient. So it means that you can have 2 cameras running at the same time. Now, that's difficult to demo in Teams because Teams and Zoom only allow each participant to have 1 camera. But in our software, which is coming with the cart, you can have as many cameras as you like in the call. So you can have 2, 3, 4 cameras operating at the same time. The GP at the far end will receive all of those as individual containers in the call, and you can maximize either one of those or any one of those as a focus port for the GP to focus on. This camera is on a ball joint up here, so we can move it around and adjust it. You can also adjust the height. And you can see that's pointing at the patient at the moment. There's a duplicate image coming up on the second monitor. Now, this monitor here is a patient-facing monitor. You can swing that around to face the patient. And that is really handy in an aged care scenario where the patient sometimes has trouble knowing where to look on the screen, particularly on a small laptop screen. So if you have 3 or 4 or 5 containers on the screen and things happening on the screen, you can click on any one of those containers and duplicate that onto the second monitor and then position that so that the patient can very easily have a chat to their one of their children, their spouse, the GP, a specialist on the call. And of course, that person can also see them directly through the camera on the pole. So it's a really neat solution. Being a laptop cart also allows you to bring the doctor into the call or the GP into the call, and then to move the whole cart around the facility without having to worry about plugging it in for power. So you can unplug the cart, you can move it from bed to bed, you can take the doctor with you from patient to patient. Of course, if you want to use this extra monitor, you'll need to plug the cart in, but the laptop will continue running and you won't lose the doctor. You won't have to log out and log back in every time you see a new patient. The doctor can stay logged in for the duration of the consultations, which is really a handy way for people to do that. Now, I believe that with these carts, you're getting our Geese camera, which is our high definition camera. This camera is full high definition with built-in LED illumination. We have some attachments for that camera. This is a dermatology hood, which we can click on here for pictures of the skin. Also really good for eyes. And we have disposable caps here, which we throw away between examinations and replace for a new patient. We can also pop that off. We have a tongue depressor attachment, which clicks on here. This is terrific for oral examinations. We can, of course, throw away the tongue depressor after use. And we have our wound rod, which clicks on here. This wound rod is for imaging wounds, so diabetic ulcers, bed sores, skin tears, sepsis, things like that. There's a millimeter scale on the end of the rod here, which gives you a point of reference in the image when you're taking that picture. And you're also taking the picture from the same distance every time, which means that some pictures aren't appearing larger than they really are or smaller than they may be. So you've got a point of reference for each one of those pictures. So this camera will give fantastic image quality, and that plugs into the USB hub, which is on the side of the cart there. So along with that, I believe you're getting a thermometer here. This is a Bluetooth thermometer that links up directly to our software. You have, I believe, a video otoscope. Is that right, Abe?
No, it's the Geese camera. No, you're right. It's the Geese camera, the stethoscope, and the 3-lead ECG.
Okay. And the pulse oximeter.
No pulse ox, blood pressure, or thermometer. But obviously, with the software, they can use their existing tools and just type the reading in, and you can always add that stuff on later on. But yeah, 3-lead ECG, stethoscope, which is fantastic, and the Geese camera.
So this is the stethoscope here. This is a USB device. So we plug this into the USB hub on the cart on the side here. Once again, we can't demonstrate that over Teams. Teams and Zoom filter out all of the low frequencies where the stethoscope operates. So it's not possible to do a stethoscope examination over these traditional video conferencing platforms. Our video conferencing platform passes all of the low frequencies through, and we also allow the GP or the specialist at the far end to take control of the stethoscope during the examination. And that means that the nurse or the carer can focus on the patient, they can hold the stethoscope in the right position, they can work under direction from the cardiologist to move the stethoscope to the left, to the right, up or down, tell the patient to breathe in, breathe out, and the cardiologist can actually control the gain the sensitivity and also the filters that control the sound coming from the stethoscope. So we've had this verified and tested through the Heart Research Institute here in Sydney, and they're over the moon with this, and they're using it for training on their for their new cardiologists as well. So it's a really, really nice system. The ECG is here. This is a single and a 3-lead ECG, so the patient can hold it between 2 hands without touching their fingers. It gives a very nice trace, a single lead trace in this case, or there's a cable which connects onto here with adhesive pads for a 3-lead ECG. We also do supply a 12-lead ECG if you need that, but this is very popular in the aged care space. You don't need to lay the patient supine. The patient can stay sitting in a chair. You just need to open their shirt if you're doing the 3 leads, or they may be able to just do the single lead. And most doctors are happy with the single lead. They can determine a lot of information from that. So these are the devices along with the geese camera that you'll be getting with the units. And of course, you can add those peripherals like the otoscopes or the pulse oximeters and things like that. You can add those to the call. Our software would allow you to capture all the readings and the images from these pieces of equipment, and then you can export those and import them into your pathway software or into your electronic health record platform. So Abe, you want to give a little bit more about the training perhaps and what they can expect from that side?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Mike. And also just another little thing is the we ship with a Jabra speakerphone, which is the round speakerphone, high quality speaker. So yeah, if your resident's hard of hearing, you can put that next to them. They can have a really intimate connection with the remote doctor with the second monitor and the second camera there. We're finding that people are using these carts for a whole range of things, from GP visits, obviously, but also geriatricians, psychologists, emergency, specialist consults, and then even family visits. So if your centre's locked down and your residents can't have visits from their family members, you can invite them into the call and bring them in. So there's a very flexible tool. Also, you guys are going to be looking at Health Direct, which is a fantastic video platform for healthcare, which is also able to be run on the cart. So it's really quite a flexible tool for whatever you need to use it for. And as Mike said, we're here to make sure that the carts are being used, but also any help that you need with adoption and any training and resources which we can provide that's going to ensure that this rollout is successful. That's what we're here for. My colleague Daniel, myself, VJ and Mike are really at your disposal. We've got some procedures and documentation and policies and things which may be helpful, video guides and so on. Once the cart is set up, what we find is a key contributor to success is if the cart's able to be put onto the network, then you can load your tools that you use every day on there, and the cart becomes not just a telehealth device, but one of your day-to-day workstations. So if one of the things we'd love to do is have early contact with your IT departments, just to make sure that they know what's coming and they're comfortable putting it on the network. At the very least, all it needs is an internet connection if they're not if they don't want to do that, or if they want to do it in stages. All we need is a Wi-Fi connection. Once the cart's it'll arrive in a couple of boxes. Super easy. I've been told that it's easier than putting together an IKEA table, which actually isn't a very low bar. Some of that can be really difficult. But anyway, very simple. Couple of thumb screws. Kieran's been putting a few together now, so he can attest to that, hopefully. Once it's physically assembled and on the network or an internet connection, we'll give you a link that you can use to arrange a virtual training session. So we'll sit down with yourself and the telehealth champion in your team, maybe some of the RNs, and give you like a really thorough run through how to use it from beginning to end, and just get you to the point where you're really comfortable using it. You can go away and play with it. Even, sort of train the trainer model. And on top of that, on the desktop, there are resources right there on the desktop for a cheat sheet, training video, and so forth. So yeah, quite straightforward to use, but also plenty of material there, and our team here to support you and get you up and running. Any questions about any of that so far?
Hi, yeah. I've just got a couple of questions. My name's Jill Williams, and I'm the program manager for the RACF InReach team, also known as RAS services throughout the state. And this is definitely software that we would welcome. I guess my question is, so from our perspective, if we wanted to use this from the hospital as a mobile ED service, would we then just upload the software into our computer system? Is that how it would work?
So to connect to a hospital with the Vision platform, all you need to do is send a link from the nurse end to the hospital end, and you can join from any computer. You don't need any special software installed on the remote end. It's all just web based, so nice and simple. Another option is obviously with Health Direct. If you've already agreed on a waiting room, you can jump into that and they'll meet you there. But yeah, no, all web-based, nice and simple. It's all designed to be nurse-led, so the software is simply controlled by the nurse. The invitation is sent from the cart or scheduled in advance, but it's just a link that they need to click.
Right, so no training at the other end is particularly necessary. And just sometimes we have difficulties in the facilities with Wi-Fi connection. Is that something, would that mean that you would sort of bring the patient to a clinical area? Quite often we'll bring the patient to a clinical area at the front of the facility, just because that's where the best signal is. If we want to telehealth to a doctor, is that how do you overcome that? Is that it, or is that?
Yeah, it's not an uncommon problem, and hopefully there's the ability to upgrade the Wi-Fi capacity so that the areas where the card is going to be used, do a bit of testing and make sure that the signal strength is good there. Some facilities do just have a clinic room which is specifically set up and bring the patient in there. That's obviously a nice reliable way to go. We've also seen some customers get to the point where they install Starlink, and they overcome their internet problems. Maybe not Wi-Fi issues, but if their broadband connection to the facility is no good, or there's just nothing available, then Starlink is a fantastic option as well. And
just one more question, sorry. I'm really excited by this.
That's great.
Which are all the facilities in Cairns going to be using this Darinka, do you know? Or
Kieran?
There's
we got a good number.
15, I think, on the list in total. We've already had one question about the rollout, and rather than, I could just rattle off. Look, what I see is from about, I think, the 17th of June, give or take a couple of business days, where just freight is sometimes a little bit, sometimes faster, sometimes slower. But the first lot to get those, we've got 6. We've got Edge Hill Orchards, we've got Mercy Health Coral Sea Gardens, we've got Hollingsworth Elders Village, Regis Whitfield, Regis Redlynch, and Carbonica Waters. So that's the first week. Following week after that is Edmonton Gardens, Pyramid, Carinya, and Mutkin getting cards. And following that one, the third week of the rollout, I think we're now entering into end of June, start of July territory, is Blue Care and Mariba. We've got Mount Kooyong Aged Care, Kubiri Aged Care, and Kiwara Aged Care.
Kawara.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm asking loads of questions. Is there the opportunity to pull it? So sometimes we'll have a consultation where we'll need a relative to be present as well. Is there the opportunity then for a third person to be part of that conversation?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
more than 2 people on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring in a number of people, and you can also cycle through who's on that second monitor as well. So if you wanted to have a consult and switch between the specialist and a family member, you can quite easily do that. So yeah, it's designed with that in mind. Just there's a single button that you press, you put in the email address, and it sends an invite to to the family member.
You can have
Thanks.
all the people you'd like in a room together. You can send out
Sure.
invites to pretty much everyone we need. We've had one site that actually the doctor on their round stay, they came in and they're just rolling around with the trolley, and from them they are actually sending out invites to family members and all that sort of stuff to engage them in the bedside consults and that sort of thing. So there's all sorts of ways to employ it.
Yeah,
Genius.
we also have each cart has its own dedicated VMR or virtual meeting room as well. So it means that the GPs who are consulting can always just go to like a bookmark in their browser to jump into the call. So you don't need to schedule a meeting and send an invite for every meeting. Like if there's a standard consult every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, the GP or the specialist just needs to go to their browser, go to the bookmark for that particular aged care facility. They'll come directly into the waiting room for the cart. And then the nurse or the carer just needs to admit them into the call, and then they're there. So it's a very quick and easy way of doing that. And then, as Abe said, you can invite as many other people into the call as you want. And with our software as well, with the ProEX software, which is on the cart, you can also do store and forward imaging, which is quite handy. So you can monitor a wound, for example, over a period of weeks. If it's getting worse and you're not really sure how to treat the wound, then when you're next on the call with the GP or the wound specialist, you can bring back those images that you took 3 weeks ago or last week, and you can say, this was 3 weeks ago, this was last week, this is today. And that gives them a better idea of the progression of the treatment and what might work and what maybe doesn't work. So that storing forward is quite handy, and we encourage people to use the cart for standard examinations, not only for telehealth examinations. So if you're doing normal rounds and you're examining patients and checking up on people, certainly use the cart, use the software, capture those images or capture the data, because it may be handy in a couple of weeks' time when you need to hook up with the specialist and give them some history.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, on top of everything else, we'd use it for the wound care as well. So that's fabulous.
Nick,
sorry, my hand's not working, but when
yeah,
I've
got you. I've got you back. Yeah, what? Yeah, next.
So from what I could see, just with the wound, because I'm fascinated by that, it did obviously it doesn't have the capacity to do the depth of the wound, I would think, from what I saw.
No.
No, but we are in the process together with a couple of PHNs around the country of developing some wound assessment tools where we do measure length and width, circumference and colour of the wound. And we want to introduce some scoring tools in the software so that the wound can be scored after each examination, and then that scoring metric can then be looked at over a period of time and an analysis made. And so those tools will be automatic updates into your software over time as they're developed. And every time you get an update into the software, those types of tools will become available.
Fantastic, thank you.
I've got a message here from Robin, and she's saying this will make a real difference to our residents and the staff. GPs, I'm as excited as Gillian, being in a more rural location. I think everyone in rural areas understand the excitement from Gillian. Yeah, and I think most of the most of the RACHs in our patch here have got a cart coming their way, so we're very happy.
Yeah, that's
great. And we
great.
did push for that, and we were like, come on, you want the cart, we know you want the cart.
Look, everybody's busy, and sometimes it that's what we're all here for, is to help transition and bring in the new technology, and get people trained up and skilled up to use it. One other thing I might mention is the sorry, go on.
Oh, I was going to say that, look, at some point in time, NQPHN would also look at a Starlink for facilities. This is being recorded, so I'm not saying that we are providing this. It's just something that we would like to try and look at in the future, depending on what funding that we have available for you guys. So it is something that we would like to provide as well. So we will be looking into that as well, I understand. So fingers crossed, everyone. And I'll keep you updated as I know something.
We have had actually a lot of customers in Western Australia in particular, but really all over the country adopting the Starlink process. It's been a game changer for a lot of people who've been struggling for years to get decent internet access, and from one day to the next they have crazy fast internet. So it's amazing.
I'll just point out, because you mentioned rural, that the solution that you're getting, which is a cart-based solution, it can also pair nicely with a mobile solution. So this is something which is designed to obviously grab and go, take out into the community, or if you're in a residential aged care in a village type setup, then to go into the patient's home. And there's, a range of the same tools which you use with the cart, the same software, same process, everything can be used with that. And since I've got a screen share up, I'll just quickly show this, which is the Northern Queensland PHN survey. So this is set up by Northern Queensland's PHN. It's not a VisionFlex survey, but at the end of each telehealth call, you'll be encouraged to fill this out to provide the PHN with information about the success of the call and how the different technologies are being used. And obviously, I think that feeds back to the government as well. So yeah, I think that's an important one.
If that's the case, say you want Starlink.
We'll put an extra field in there for us. Do you want Starlink? Yes or no?
No, we welcome all feedback, good and bad.
Yeah.
We want to know what's going well. We also want to know what's not going well. Basically, it helps direct future efforts. So, yeah, just please be honest.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm going to any further questions though before I move on. But these guys, Kieran will be the representative, and each month you can ask questions. They'll be coming out to your facility, so we're always here. You can reach out.